Hi everybody, welcome to this week's video for Shabbat on our journey to freedom. I hope you had a good week. I want to continue from where I stopped last week because I feel that last week's video was a bit of like throwing all the ideas out there, and now it's time to tidy up a bit. So it's like we want to tidy our wardrobe or our closet and we throw everything on the bed and then we start sorting through. And we start keeping and folding, putting neatly things away that we want to keep, throwing away what's not relevant. And it's very much how I think we find ourselves sometimes at crossroads in our lives where we have this similar scenario. So, if you watched Finding Nemo, at the end there is that scene where they say, now what? So that now what moment is the time to take out our blank canvas and draw anything we want on it and create the life we want. So there's two aspects I want to bring to your attention today. So the first one is the fact that we attract things to affirm our main beliefs, and also we attract who we actually are. And I'm going to give you some examples. But to start with, before everything, I would like to ask you to take a paper and a pen. And I'm going to tell you two words, and I would like you to complete the sentence, but without thinking, right? From your instinct. Whatever comes up first, your instinctive answer, write it down. And you can do it with any other elements in your life, things that are relevant to you right now. I chose like 5 that I think are pretty common for most people at some point or another in our lives. Or we can start from 1 and we can make like a list of 10 or 20 because it really doesn't really end anywhere, because all our lives are made up of little beliefs we have about all sorts of scenarios, of cases, of people, and we sort of build our story around those scenarios. So take a pen and a paper, and when you're ready, write, I'm going to say, women are, and you complete the sentence. Men are, and complete the sentence. And don't think what's the right answer, what should be the answer, what you want it to be. The first thing that comes to mind. And it doesn't have to be one word. It can be like women are so and so and so and so. Men are so and so and so and so. Okay? The world is, I am, and things always. And then after you complete this, look at what you wrote and leave it aside. And think if you would rewrite it now into how you would have wanted it to be. But before we do that, look at the way things have happened in your life and look how many times we have actually attracted affirmations for our beliefs. So we have a certain theory in our mind, a certain idea that we believe, and then we sort of live our lives around finding proofs to ourselves and to other people, saying, see, I told you so. I knew it, because we have this need to be right. We have this need to prove that we knew best. So many times this I know best and see this is right is actually shooting ourselves in the foot, because it's jeopardizing our ability to attract good things, because we keep attracting again and again the same things we don't want, because we believe a certain thing. Yeah. For example, I'm going to give you an example from my life. When I had a certain perception about men, and I thought I'm ready, which I wasn't, but doesn't matter. But let's say I was ready to meet new men after I separated. I had this idea in my head that men are a certain type. And when I had this idea in my head, all the people I attracted into conversations were exactly these kind of people that I could tell myself, see, I told you so. But in order to change that, we're going to have to write that new story, that new chapter in our book. And doing that is when you get to that point where with the self-awareness, which I think is very critical in our self-development and journey to freedom, is you actually go back, you go back on the steps you took and you analyze them, and then you find out the reasons for many things you did and said. And then you can rebuild build your new castle. So if your relationship with money was really bad because you had bad experiences with money, and then you want to change that, and you want to start believing that money isn't a bad thing, and you're going to start attracting more money into your life because it's not something that you perceive as a negative thing, that only capitalistic people with certain qualities that you would, in your mind, stick to would have. It's like it's based many times on our life experiences, that those assumptions we make, the theories we build. It's mainly built upon our life's experience, but it's also sometimes brought from other people. So sometimes you get the newspaper. If somebody reads the newspaper every day or watch the news every day, and you hear things over and over and over and over, and you trust the people that give you this information, then you build those theories based upon things you've heard from other people. So it's not even your own experience or your own knowledge. You sort of trust a third party to do the job for you. Like, for example, when people go on the street and march for one thing or another, and they just hold up a sign, and you ask them, what does your sign say? And they say, oh, I don't really know. I just picked it up from the desk there. And then you ask them, do you know what the meaning of what you're holding in your hand is? And say, no, not really. So it's like, can't be bothered to do the work, can't be bothered to do the investigation, the research, the finding out, and you just take somebody's word for it. And then you have this perception, this story, this narrative in your head that you live your life in a way that is trying to prove yourself right. So you can say, I knew that's the case, or I know that's how it is, or there's like no doubt in your mind that something is as you perceive it to be because of your previous experience or you believe. And in order to change that, first of all, you have to be aware that there's something there that's not working for you. Because if you keep attracting things that are not good for you, or negative things, or experiences that you don't want to experience, or meeting people that you think, why did I meet them? The answer is within us. These people didn't come looking for us many times, because we sort of attracted them because of our belief and our need to prove, to affirm to ourselves whatever theory we had. Okay, so after we've done that list and we wrote the things instinctively, what came to our mind, first thing, without thinking, don't cheat. Do that, like, whatever the first thing that comes to mind, what you actually say. If somebody's saying it, there's no stopping you. And now do the same list after you reflect a bit and you put a little bit of attention, because, attention, the attention we give to things generates what we attract, right? So if we attract the things that we give attention to, and the attention we give is negative, then we attract negative. So if you want to start attracting positive, then you have to change that in your head. And for me, when I realized that, I said, okay, I'm going to change that now. And in order to change that, it helps if you've got friends and close people that you can look at, or other scenarios that you can look at, and you can say, actually, there are a proof to me that there are kind men, that there are and non-manipulative women, that there are that money is a good thing, that some rich people are extremely kind and generous, have it. So it's like, and you can do that about jobs, about studies, about groups, about your relationship with people as a whole. If you think people are such and such, and then you think, okay, I'm going to change that story and I'm going to start attracting the good things. And you'll find out, I promise you, the minute you change it around, you start attracting the good things in life. And it doesn't take a long time. It just takes switch of perception. So, because you choose to see, first of all, you choose to see the good, because it's a choice. Because we can see somebody, and the first thing we'll take from that is all the negatives, or we can see somebody and all we're going to take from that is their positive. And even if they have negative qualities, we're not going to focus on them. We're not going to put our focus on them, unless it's somebody you want to keep away from because they risk your life or whatever, yeah? But, so let's say you've done that list, and now you're going to repeat that list with a conscious mind. And you're going to write the things that you would like. So you would like women to be, or you want to believe, and based on your sister, your mother, good friends you've had, people you met in your life, which prove to you that they are caring, that they're compassionate, that they are good friends, that they're everything, the good qualities that you want in people, and you actually saw proof. Like, I see the partners of my good friends are really nice men. My brothers are really kind men. My father was an amazing father and caring man and husband. And there are examples, and they're endless. The more you want to look for them, the more you're going to find that they're going to break your theory. They're going to disprove your theory of the negative. So if you rewrite it and you write it now like on whichever, like if I wrote it about the world, and I'm going to write that the world is filled with manipulative people who just want to take from you and make you feel miserable. If I'll change that to the world is filled with kind people who are who want to generate love and peaceful, I don't know, and peace around them. Yeah. So you choose when you have that belief, and then your unconscious mind is wanting to prove you're right again, then you're going to be attracting those people into your life, and you're going to see more and more people with those qualities, or a boss that is a certain type, or anything that in your mind you have a scenario which is negative and you change it to positive and you work on your belief, you're going to see that you're going to attract good things into your life. And it's going to happen, I promise you. If you do that exercise, and you're going to have that first list with the first thing that comes to your mind, and if it doesn't work for you, if it works for you, then don't change it, yeah? But if it's something you find is negative, if you write something and you find that your instinct about it, or your instinct belief, the core belief of that thing is negative, change that to a positive one. Or if you're able to observe it without a thought, yeah? If you can be like a blank canvas when we go, without an expectation from people, without an expectation from a certain scenario, it's also okay. Everything is better than coming with a negative attitude or with a negative perception that things are bad. So either no expectation, or no, like things can like come with curiosity, or a positive outlook, and see how things change for you. And the next thing is that life is like a mirror, and we attract who we really are. And if you watched my video last week and you saw when I was talking about dating apps and sites, and I said don't spend more than a month or two without stopping and reflecting in them. But it's not only that. You can work in a job and then move to another job and another job, and or do things like sports and whatever you do, and you end up at a crossroad, or you find yourself at a crossroad between two things, or you take a break, and you can go back to analyze yourself, and you backtrace you reverse your steps, and you see how your behavior generated the experiences that you attracted. Because when I said that the only man that I actually fell for was somebody who was unavailable, I actually realized I was unavailable. It took me a long time to understand that, but when I retraced my steps, I noticed that I actually ensured that nobody that I would speak to will ever materialize to a meeting. And when somebody was actually very close to coming here to where I live, to the town where I live, I had a panic attack, because I went for a website that was overseas. We were very safe, and I knew that the chances that I'm going to meet somebody before I spoke to them for 5 months isn't going to be happening. And I told every story you can think of. If somebody asked me, why are you looking here? And I would have very logic answers, which I believed myself are true. And then I realized that before I went to that country, and I was going to spend a month or 6 weeks there, and I could have met people and I could have spoken to them, I finished every conversation that I ever had with anyone in order to not be in a position that will generate a meeting with anyone. And that was because I was unavailable. And the only man that I carried on talking to was the only person that was slightly more unavailable than I was, because he was so much like me that I felt comfortable. So, and it takes self-awareness. It takes it takes time to think about those things, to actually figure out who you really are and what you really attract. And then when you are ready, and when you go through, because after that, I did meet somebody in real life, and it was somebody kind and nice, and we had a great time together. And even when we decided to part ways, it ended in a nice way, because we went into it without dramas, it was just, we were both like curious, and we came with a lot of fun together. It was a really fun relationship. And at the end, when we found out that it's not going to work, it might have been a minute of sadness, of understanding, it didn't work out. But it was, there's no bad feelings, there was no drama, there was no like manipulative moments. We just parted ways, and that was fine. And we both learned a lot about ourselves and about each other, and about dating again, because we were both coming from a relationship that didn't work out after many years, and it was the first relationship that I think we both had that was like a little bit more meaningful than just talking to somebody, or something a little bit more serious. So they had the potential to become something very serious. So what I'm trying to say is that anything that doesn't work in our lives, many times we shift the blame. One of the ways to deal also with the blame is to also understand that even if somebody hurt us, there's a story in their life, and it doesn't mean we have to accept their behavior. But if we know in our minds that whatever they have done, or whatever they're doing because they have a wound that they have sustained themselves, we don't internalize it. We don't take it personally. And we understand it's something to do with them. And it's fine. We don't have to be with these people. We don't have to talk to these people. And we just put it aside. But it makes us feel a lot better and a lot more relaxed about life than thinking, oh, they're doing something deliberately to me. Yeah, they don't want to hurt me specifically. Or, you would notice that people who actually behave in a certain way to their partners, they behave that certain way also to other people. They would behave that way to their mom, to the waitress in a restaurant, to other people. People are who they are, and you cannot hide your true identity for very long. And when we discover that that what we attract is what we are, then we can also change it to, okay, if I'm not there anymore, then what am I looking for and how am I looking for? So basically what I realized on myself through that discovery was that I wasn't ready, first of all, when I wasn't. And I think it's very important, because many times we live by, people tell us things like recommendations and suggestions, and people who care about us, they love us, they're good friends or family or whatever. They either tell you got to get a job, or they tell you, or you got to move, or you need to do something with this relationship, or you need to go and date, you need to meet other people. But we know if we're there yet or not. And sometimes we're just not there. We're not ready. We don't really want them. We're good on our own, and we're happy in where we are. We're busy. We got active lives, and we're not there. So we're going to do everything in our power to jeopardize every potential opportunity to meet somebody, because we're not there. And when we are there, and we change the narrative, and we change the story, and we come into this from a different perspective, we're also going to attract the things that are better for us, the things that are actually helping us contribute to our growth and freedom of who we are. Because the people that we end up with, whether it's work colleagues or friends, or group of friends that we want to hang out with, or even in the gym, when you go to the gym, you got people that you speak to, you got people you don't speak to, and you attract to your inner circle people that you find that you like, or that you have something in common. And the more positive you are, the more positive people you will attract into your circle. So I think these are two things that are really important when we go through our self-discovery, because knowing ourselves is key to progressing and rebuilding our castle from scratch. So I would like you to spend that week, see how you feel in your research of yourself. Where do you find yourself in all the things that you have done until now? If you're not happy with the result, or if you're not happy with where you are, then try and find out, what was it that you believed, or what was it that you think that you bring with you to the table that actually manifests those results that you're not 100% sure that you're happy with.